Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast today, and a good one we have for you, we promise. The Cleveland Metropolitan School District CEO, Dr. Eugene Sanders, joins me this morning to talk about the upcoming school year in Cleveland. He'll share information with us on the school district's transportation policy, the contract with the Cleveland Teachers Union, and the district's safety plan. Later in the broadcast, Lori Hobson will join us. She will discuss the district's new Target 11 initiative, as it is called. Good morning, everyone. I'm Leon Bibb. And this is Kaleidoscope, and so we begin. Beginning with a good friend, Dr. Eugene Sanders, CEO of Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Doc, how's it going?
Good morning, my friend. I'm doing well today, thank you.
You're doing okay?
Always good to be with you.
Yeah. As we record this on the date that we are recording this, in late July, just yesterday, the school system, the school board ratified the contract with the school, which the school teachers ratified. I guess that's the word I want to use, that's ratified. Your feelings about that now, where we stand now?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank the board and the teachers union for really working hard to come together. These are tough times, Leon. I don't think I need to tell the people in our region community that. And the fact that we were able to come up with $17 million worth of concessions, 4.62 in salary reductions, and some medical changes in our program. But even more important than the fiscal stuff is really the kind of agreement we've made around our teacher evaluation system going forward, and being able to really try to figure out how do we make transformation work here in Cleveland. And so while it was difficult and there were some challenging days, as you well know, at the end of the day, the adult leadership sat down together, and we've come up with something that's workable. We have some challenges moving forward, but the most important thing we do, Leon, is the education of our children. And I'm hopeful that this contract will be another step towards that success.
Are you generally satisfied with the way? I know you wanted it to go another direction some weeks ago. I mean, there had been talk about how to maintain the teachers, how to keep some of the teachers on the payroll and all of that. The court ruled in favor of the teachers union. Now, how do you deal with that? Are you able to put that in the past and move on? Sides together?
I think we certainly are. I mean, we felt that we wanted a more aggressive approach to teacher reform. We wanted more authority to reassign teachers based upon skill and competency. We're not able to do that as aggressively as we would like. I'm of the opinion, quite candidly, I think all of us, from me on down in the organization, everyone needs to show evidence of their capacity, their intelligence, their ability, and I think the best way to do that is to be competitive in terms of our jobs. We're not able to do that as much as we would like. Now, we do have some schools, Leon, about 10 of them, that will be removing about 50% of the faculty, and people will be interviewing for those positions based upon a grant that we received from the federal government. So as you can see, we do have some elements of what we wanted in a more comprehensive way. We'll have to take a little shorter steps in transformation than we would have originally liked, but it does allow us to be more responsive to our students and our families, and at the end of the day, it's about our students and their ability to be successful.
Your enrollment in the Cleveland school system is about 50,000 students. I can remember not too long ago, Dr. Sanders, when it was 72,000. Sure. And certainly when I was in school back in the dark ages, it was way back when George Washington and I were going to school in Cleveland together.
George Washington Carver, right?
Yeah, George Washington Carver. It was significantly higher. Now, how do you hold on to the students that you have and go through a transformation program at the same time?
Well, what's happening with our enrollment is that it's really stabilizing. There were a number of factors over the last decade that really lend itself to some slide in our enrollment, vouchers, charter schools. What's happening is parents are becoming, Leon, savvy consumers of education. They want good schools. They want good teachers. They want excellent programs. And a parent will say, well, tell me what you offer. Now, when you and I went to school back in the day, you simply went to the neighborhood school. And wherever you lived, whatever elementary school was closest by, that's where we went. And we went to the junior high, we went to the high school. In 2010, parents are saying, what programs do you offer? What are the scholarship opportunities? What curriculum are you offering? Students are saying, I'm interested in becoming a doctor, a lawyer, a TV personality, a CEO. What kind of programming best serves my needs to do that going on to college? So it's a lot more different. It's a lot different than what it certainly was. And our enrollment is stabilizing. But at the end of the day, again, Leon, it's about Cleveland being competitive, about being aware of global competition. We tell our students all the time, the competition is not with Beechwood anymore, Warrensville, Columbus, Cincinnati. It's around the world, and we have to be a lot better than where we are.
Don't you also have to, in many instances, have to get to the parent with that thought and with that philosophy, not only the student but the parent at home?
It's perhaps other than our fiscal challenges, Leon, the academic challenges. Close to that is parent education and parent training. We have about 75% of our families that are single parent families, which is a national number. So we're not any different than any other school district around the nation. The difficulty in that is that our families are going through the toughest economic time. Historically, the last several years I've been here, have been around 1, 2, 3 in terms of national poverty ratings in the nation. So we have some internal challenges, but it doesn't mean, Leon, that we can't position our programming in our schools. Schools must be the economic engine. It must be the social cultural engine. And I believe that the CMSD district has the ability to be a driving force with positive change here in the city.
I've got 30 seconds before I got to take a commercial break, and we're going to have you for one more segment after the commercial break, though. What's the graduation rate in Cleveland now?
Right now, our graduation rate is 54%.
That's not acceptable.
It is, and that's why we have introduced transformation, because we are saying, Leon, that if you only graduate half of your students, that's why we need to have a position where the teachers that we were selecting to be in certain schools, that's why that was so important. Now, we didn't get that as aggressively as we'd like, but that's why we must transform. We can't stay as we are and simply expect everything to be okay. Of course, and that's why transformation is on the table.
Of course, you know, the Cleveland Teachers Union takes a totally different approach to that. I mean, they're on the other side of that. We'll continue our discussion about this. I'm talking to Dr. Eugene Sanders, the CEO of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. I'll take a break. We'll be right back in a moment. My guest is Dr. Eugene Sanders, CEO of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. When we took the break, we were talking about the graduation rate, which was at 54%, which you agreed is certainly not acceptable. Yeah. I know you'd like to see 100%. Sure. How do we get there?
Well, what we have to do, first of all, Leon, is acknowledge that a problem exists, and that we can't have a laissez-faire, casual approach to its resolution. Perhaps the biggest disagreement I've had with our teachers' union leadership the last couple of years has been about the rate of reform. What we see, Leon, is a drastic and urgent need to transform, not next week, not next year, not 5 years from now, but right now. Our ability to be competitive, to position our children for success is urgent. And in some ways, we're held back, in my opinion, towards the kind of true transformation that needs to take place. We must be competitive. Everyone says it's unacceptable, but if it is unacceptable, we need drastic, urgent, critical response now, not a year from now, not 5 years from now.
What's happening in Cleveland is happening in every major city in America. I mean, we are not unique with low graduation rates. When you CEOs of districts from all over the country get together, what comes out of these meetings? What's the real answer? The answer that the people can get their hands in and lift up and say, this is the answer here.
Here's what we say when we get together, that there has to be a common thread among 3 key variables for our success: the home, the school, and the community. It's always been that issue. Either one or a combination of those are not positioned to be as aggressive as we need to be towards the work. We talked about parents earlier. Parent involvement in our work is essential to the transformation that we want to have.
How do you get the parent involved? I mean, we see what many people call it seems to be a breakdown of American society. I mean, crime is rampant. We see crime all over. We see young people in jail. How do we get to the parent, Gene?
I think we have to move beyond simply me calling a meeting at the schoolhouse and say, okay, guys, come on down, let's talk about it. We have to use unconventional methods in an unconventional time. And that essentially, in my version, is how do we take our message to where the people are? How do we get almost a grassroots, door-by-door kind of effort? And what we always need, Leon, is this massive support that's necessary to do that. Because, you know, a handful of us, a dozen or a couple hundred going out in the community, we need thousands of people coalescing together to say that a 54% graduation rate, not being in continuous improvement or above, is unacceptable for the city of Cleveland. If we're serious about education beyond the rhetoric that we normally get. So we need buy-in from all entities, and parents will respond when they see that collective effort. The challenge is getting everybody together on the same day, on the same page, with the right thing to do. And we know in any organization how difficult
that's the challenge of the 21st century. You and I invent something like that, and we've got the answer to many of our problems.
Yes,
let's talk a little bit about the buildings now. You've got buildings going down, you got buildings going away. How many buildings are we left with for you to educate the 50,000 students?
We closed about 14 buildings this year, as you well know, as part of the transformation plan. That's a function of small enrollments and lack of academic success. And that was a bold statement that we made. We simply can't continue to have buildings that graduate 30% of the class and say that's an okay educational opportunity. So we're going to have about a little over 100 buildings left in the district, about 102. We are trying to personalize the educational experience, Leon, to a one-on-one kind of piece between the teacher and the student. We're making we are trying to use more of the John Hayes Cleveland School of the Art model around academies and specific focus around kids. And what we're saying to our students is, you have to take a personal stake in your success, both for them and for the parents that they go home to every night. And so as we open up the school year in about 25 days or so, we will be ready. We are well positioned to receive our students back. But kids must come to school in the transformation age now in Cleveland, Ohio, with a renewed approach and spirit towards their work and their commitment.
Will they come to a safe schoolhouse?
Absolutely.
Safety is vital. If we can't have safety in the school, how are we going to teach? How are we going to educate them in the school?
You're absolutely right. And what we have been saying throughout our meetings in the summer, we've had a number of mini camps through the summer, Leon, where we've taken closed schools and schools that kids are going to. We've taken kids and put them together. What I'm observing, it's the adults that need to manage this appropriately. Kids are resilient and very capable of adjusting to almost anything. What we have to do as adults is approach this in the most effective and meaningful way. And I'm confident we'll do that. We're working with a number of different law enforcement agencies in the community. Our schools will be safe, but we need the entire community to help us in that effort.
We've got about 45 seconds remaining, Dr. Sanders. The whole city of Cleveland has talked about it needs to grow, it needs to turn some major corners. One of the key pieces is in your area, the schools. They need to fix the schools so that the entire community grows. You feel that challenge, don't you?
I do, and I felt it for a long time. I think everyone we talk to, from civic leaders to parents to just anyone in the city, recognizes the important role that we must play, and we take it seriously. That's why there's an urgency to this, Leon. That's why we can't, and you probably heard me talk a lot about, geez, no more committees to study the problem. We know what our challenges are. We need action and steps to be taken immediately to address it. We have answers right in our own system of how it can work, and we must do it better and faster.
In 10 seconds, will we find a better way to fund schools in Ohio? It's my 30-year-old question.
I'm going to give you a 30-year-old answer. It is perhaps the cornerstone of our issues going forward. We must find a more fair and equitable way to do it. We do not have it at the moment.
Dr. Eugene Sanders, I appreciate you being with us. The CEO of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Always good to see you, my friend.
Thank you. Well. Thanks.
I'll take a break in a moment. We'll return. Lori Hobson, manager of the Office of Attendance of Cleveland Schools, joins us after this. Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope. I've been talking here during the commercial break with Lori Hobson. She's the manager of the Office of Attendance for the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Good to have you with us, Lori.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are you looking for? I mean, it's the summer goes quickly.
Yes, it does.
And the kids are going back to school, I would imagine, at the end of August, right?
That's correct. That's
what are you looking at in the Office of Attendance?
We are looking at launching a new attendance initiative which will empower our parents to monitor their own students' attendance. And that new initiative is entitled Target 11. And the focus becomes for parents to pay attention throughout the school year to the number of days that their child is absent.
What's Target 11? Why the number 11? What's that mean?
I'm glad you asked. Target 11 equates to when a student is absent 11 days, that includes excused, unexcused, and suspended days out of school. When a student is absent for 11 days, they average an attendance rate just above 93%. We want parents to be aware and use the school calendar and monitor their child's attendance quarterly, focusing on not missing more than 2.5 days in a quarter. So every time a parent receives their child's report card quarterly, we want them to also inquire about their child's attendance percentage rate. We want to provide parents with a letter to accompany their report card so that they can be aware of where they are with their attendance percentage.
Does the number of absences appear on the report card?
The number of absences appear, but however the attendance percentage does not. So that will be something we do differently come the fall of this school year.
I can remember receiving report cards back when I was in the Cleveland schools, and it might say 2.5 days absent, something like that, down in a little box at the bottom of the card. What do you want parents to do now? You brought some information here. I want to get to this. I want to get a shot of this. Tell me, what is this that I'm holding up here?
Mr. Bibbs, you're holding the back-to-school information mailer, which will come out mid-August. Parents should look for that in their mailbox. It will confirm their school assignment, their bus route. It has an emergency card we want parents to fill out. It gives them all of the information they need to be ready to start school on August 26th.
And all kinds of good information in there, and what to do, and back-to-school information, and student assignments, and all of that.
Correct.
Now, they're going to be getting this, parents are going to be getting this in the mail.
That's correct.
What do you want parents to keep in mind uppermost? If they remember one thing from what you and I are talking about, what should they remember?
I want parents to remember that they have the power and the ability to control and produce a productive attendance rate, and it's in their hands. It's between the parent and the child. I want parents to focus on when students have appointments outside of the school day, that to remember how it affects them academically.
What happens when a student has 11 absences or goes to 12 absences in this Target 11 program?
When a student exceeds 11 absences in a school year, that family will be referred to my office. We will then look at the reasons why, and we will search for interventions through our community partners, either through the Department of Children and Family Services or juvenile court, to effectively help that family get back on track.
Is there a telephone number that you provide where people can get more information on everything we've been talking about?
The direct number to the attendance office is area code 216-592-7229.
592-7229. That's the Cleveland Schools, the attendance office. We've also got another phone number up on the screen for more information on everything we've been talking about as well. That's to the Cleveland school system. This is vitalism. If you're going to save the children, first thing you got to do is you got to show up.
That's absolutely correct.
You know, it's like a job. I mean, if you show up, you can get your job done. If you don't show up, you can't get the job done. You can't get educated.
Right.
Is that what you're telling
Yes.
parents?
What I want parents to know is that when a child is absent, even 11 days is a significant absence. Premier attendance occurs when the student is present 100% of the academic year. However, when a student is absent more than 11 days in the school year, what we begin to see is the foundation of their academics kind of looks like Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
It's the foundation with holes in it. And when a student is absent, they're missing significant portions of their academic curriculum. So when they go to move on to the next grade, they are challenged. It becomes a greater challenge to achieve when you're missing much of your academic structure.
What is the student support team? What does that do?
Okay. We also refer families to our student support teams. A student support team exists in every school building. That team consists of a principal, a teacher, a professional such as a school psychologist or a social worker, and they develop an academic plan for students who need more intensive intervention. And that plan is designed for that student. It's student specific. And the plan entails a way for the parent and the student student to regain focus so that teachers can work with students in order to return them to their academic success.
I want to get a shot of this again. Back to school information and student assignment. Parents should be getting one of these in the mail.
Yes.
Now, if they don't, when are they going to get this in the mail?
Mid-August. If a parent has not received that mailer by August 26th, they should call the number. I'm sorry, if the parent hasn't received it by August 20th, they should call the number on the screen.
Okay, and that number, we're going to put a number on the screen, and it's 426-3984. That's written at the bottom of this this brochure as well.
Right.
So if they have not received this by mid-August, they need to get on the telephone and call.
That's correct.
Okay.
We also want to make our parents aware that we have a community forum at Zelma George Recreation Center on Tuesday, August 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. We will be talking and providing parents with a panel of information regarding safety, transportation, and other pertinent information to make sure that their children are ready to start school.
Lori Hobson, Manager, Office of Attendance, Cleveland Schools. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Mr. Bibbs.
Be well, my friend. I'll take a break. Back in a moment. Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope. We're partnered with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, and with us is Samia Bray, the Urban League's Director of the Entrepreneurship Center. Hey, Samia.
Hey, Leon, how are you?
Okay.
Good.
What are you thinking about today?
I am thinking about Hooray for Women.
Hooray
That's what
for
I'm
women.
thinking about. Yes, indeed. Leon, I'm here today on behalf of our CEO, Marcia Mockabee, and Kathy Lewis-Wright, to tell you and our audience about Hooray for Women and those who love them.
What is Hooray for Women?
We are putting together at the Urban League, the Guild is putting together an event. It'll be Saturday, August 28th from 10 to 4, and it's celebrating women and those who love them.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot
and
of
it's
people.
a good thing. Well, women are more than half the population, certainly. Maybe we get a shot of this. Now, tell me,
Yes.
What is Hooray for Women?
Hooray for Women is an excellent opportunity for women to come out. You know, we love our shoes, we love our jewelry, and we love our chocolate.
Yeah.
And so at this event, women are going to have an opportunity, and those who love them, to enjoy all of that. We have Africa Mason coming from Chicago to bring unique shoes. Like you are not going to see, these are one of a kind that you're not going to see anywhere else.
Shoes. These shoes are made for walking.
That's right.
Okay.
They are made for walking.
And this is going to be at the Urban League office itself.
It will be at the Urban League. We are transforming the Urban League that day to a exclusive boutique.
It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning,
Yes.
goes until 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
And the Urban League is located at 2930 Prospect Avenue. That's 2930 Prospect Avenue, really at the corner of East 30th Street and Prospect Avenue in downtown Cleveland. Saturday, August the 28th. Does it cost anything to get in here?
It does not cost anything to get in there, but I'm telling you, Leon, for the women and those who love them, when you get in there and you see those shoes, you might leave with a
So
couple
you're going to be
things.
talking about shoes and all kinds of things like that.
We're selling them.
Selling them. Good deal. Have a good time with it.
Thank
Hooray
you.
for Women, it's called.
All right.
We're going to say so long.
Bye.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.